Howdy, Old Tom Rides here. I did a video not too long ago about changing the brake pads on a KTM 390 Adventure. I'm going to do the front brakes today. I'm going to be changing them using EBC double H centered brake pads. These are, if you're looking for the number, this is FA606HH. This is totally simple. This video should be a couple minutes long. Let's get to it. Okay, this is a very simple procedure. It essentially, you only need one Torx socket. This is a T27, okay? It's very simple. Only thing you need to do is first, let's remove this bolt. Let me pull the wheel a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So this is what holds the brakes in. It's a simple pin. There's only one other thing that you have to deal with, and that's there's this little keeper pin, which you can see here. It's just a very small little thing. That needs to come off. Loosen up the pin that holds the brakes in. Okay. I want a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now, the pin holds the pads in. There's also this keeper, this little clip, which you can see here. And that goes in this way, okay? And the pin goes over the top of it like that, like so. After that, it's a simple matter of sliding the brake pads out. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up in this video that the reason why I'm changing them, because you might look at them and go, well, gosh, that doesn't really look too bad. There's a decent amount of pad left on there. I had a fork leak that I replaced the fork seals on. Some of that fluid got on the brake pads, and I discovered that my brakes weren't working very well. So I cleaned them enough just to verify that that was indeed the problem, but I'm a bit of a paranoid kind of guy, and I want clean brakes that I know are not contaminated. So I'm just replacing them because it just seems the simplest, easiest thing to do. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So around each of them in the stock ones, you'll see these metal plates on the back. They're not entirely necessary, but I'm going to replace them. I'm going to put them back on anyways, because why not? So they come off very easily. As you can see in here, I'll show in this view, maybe perhaps the lighting's a little better. They just clip on. You can take a small screwdriver and pull them right off, and they just come right off. So then you can put them right back on the new ones in the same spot, just like that. So now I have a clean one. This one's prepared. Do the same thing with the other one. Put that one on. Oops, put it right side up. Poof. Just like that, they are ready to go. Clean. They have the backer plate on there. Now, one of the other things that's going to happen with this is that the piston is compressed in, because the newer ones obviously are thicker than the old ones. Now, it's hard to see in the video here. I'm not sure if I can if it'll show up in here or not, but I'm going to pop it in there. If it is, good for me. In any case, so the other thing that will need to happen is you'll need to compress the piston in on both sides. So once you've got everything situated here, what you need to do is the pistons, I don't know if you can see this very well. Let me see if I can point with a screwdriver. See the pistons here and here? Those are sticking out a little bit because of the older pads were used more. So they need to be pressed in a little bit. And the easiest way, I'm sure there's other ways to do it. You could take this thing off and do all sorts of stuff, but there's no real reason to take the caliper off. Really, what I do is I take a C-clamp, and I get on all I have to do is just get on the edge a little bit and just compress it a little bit. Doesn't take much. And that'll compress it in so that now I can get the, oops, I didn't really get that very well, did I? Here we go. There. So that's moved in a little bit. Then do the upper. Same type of thing, just a little bit of pressure. It doesn't take much. You're not having to squeeze the heck out of this thing. Okay? Now we'll take our brake pad, and it should slip right in there. And it still might be a little bit snug because these are new pads after all. But you can see it goes right in there. I'll do the same thing with the other one. A little bit of pressure, squeezes it in. Same thing up here. Boom. And now I can take my other brake pad and it should slide right in. Bingo, just like that. So now they're in there. The only thing that's left is to put the clip back on. And that goes right in here like so. Now it's hard to see, but in this video, sorry for bumping the camera there, there's a bit of an indentation where the tail end, so the small end here, goes down into the bottom of the caliper assembly a little bit, just a little bit. But the curved part here is oh shoot, I think it's a little bit. The curved part is where, as I reminded you before, the pin goes. So that's your goal, is to have the curved part right in line with those. So we put that in here like so. These things are always so fiddly. Get the pin in there. At least to get it started, that will help. And then slide the other brake pad back up a little bit because it slid in too far. There we go. All right, again, a little fiddly, but that brass pin there is what's giving pressure. So once you do that, simple matter of screwing it back in. I'm sure there's a torque setting for this. I have no idea what it is. Change that. Give it a little bit of snug. That's it. Your brakes are done. It's that simple. Last thing to do is to put the clip. There is a small groove where this goes. To be honest, I don't know what good that does. I suppose it keeps it from coming out, but this has a thread, so who knows what's going on there. Anyways, that's your basic assembly. So remember, you'll need to compress the pistons before you put them in because your old pads are going to be thinner than the newer ones. The clip goes in, arrow up, which is kind of handy. Maybe that's why they put it that way. Goes in the bottom here. It's a little fiddly to get everything lined up, but it works pretty well. Enjoy the nice new brakes. I'm certainly going to.